All right, so I'm gonna answer the first question since I'm the
Hold,
one
hold,
that
hold,
asked it.
hold, hold on, quick. My bad. Just in. A failed physical exam of Gary Payton II has placed the Golden State Warriors, Detroit, Portland, and Atlanta four-deal trade in jeopardy. So it might not even go through because he failed it.
Oh,
All right. So Payton's core a muscle injury could sideline him for up to 3 months following a Warrior exam. So that trade might not never
oh,
went through.
oh.
Hallelujah. Sounds not hallelujah of your injury, but the
Nah, the
trade
fact
went
that
through.
trade didn't go
The
through.
trade
Yeah,
Yeah,
went
we
through.
understand. We
we
know
we
what
know
we.
what you meant. We know
Yeah.
what you meant.
You know,
But
people to that,
I
we
fact,
lie. You feel me?
fact,
We gotta
Yeah, yeah,
we
you
gotta
right.
explain.
facts.
Go ahead, Dave.
So I'm the one that asked the question, and the reason why I asked this question is because someone who came on our show, who's in the chat, has said that.
Kevo.
And
Say
no,
it.
no,
He
no, no,
putting the name on it.
no. It wasn't Cavill that called
Oh,
him
okay.
elite. I'm going to say his name. I'm not. I'm going to say his name. So he's come on the show before. He works for ESPN in Minnesota.
Oh, okay. My God.
AJ has said in his voice memos plenty of times before that Jalen Hurts is an elite quarterback.
Hmm.
Now, I'm not sure what everyone else's criteria is when it comes to an elite quarterback. But if I remember correctly, and my co-hosts can they'll let me know if I'm wrong on this. You have to do it more than 1 year to be considered an elite quarterback. Correct.
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 When Mahomes did it for his first year, we didn't call him elite for that first year.
Well, he won MVP, but go ahead,
He
continue.
did. He did. Don't get me
Took the
wrong.
touchdown. But you right
He
though.
did. But it wasn't until the next year when he went to the Super Bowl and won that
Mhm.
title when we said, okay, he's elite. He did it 2 years in a row, and he's been consistent since. He hasn't missed the AFC Championship game since he's been in the league, since he
Mm.
started. So that's one thing about him. Lamar Jackson has been consistent. He's been an MVP, and he's been in the playoffs just about every single year since he started. That's an elite quarterback. Now one thing we can't do is call someone who has only been in the playoffs one time, like Justin Herbert. He's on.
Mm.
This is his first playoffs that he's been in since he's been in the league. I want someone to name me one quarterback that was considered elite because of one season, and he wasn't. And we all know what he did last year. He wasn't that good as he was this year. Now I understand his team went 14-3 this year, and they're in the Super Bowl. But Jalen Hurts is not an elite quarterback. It is way too soon for him to call him that. Yes, he has had a really good season for someone who a lot of people didn't think that he belonged in this position right now because of what happened to them last year because they got blown out by the Bucks last year in the playoffs. But they improved this year. And they have a great team around him. And that's not to discredit anything that he did. He's played very well this year, and he doesn't. The greatest thing about him is that he does not turn the ball over. That's one of the biggest things that he's done this year. And yes, he almost threw for 4,000 yards this year, but he threw for 3,700 yards, 22 touchdowns, 6 picks. That's all he did this year. Now that's not elite numbers, but it's really good for what he did. And like I said, they went 14-3, number one seed in the NFC, and the Super Bowl. Hey, hats off to you. You had a great season. You're a really good quarterback, but you're not elite yet. You got to do that consistently in order to be considered elite. Now, the second question, as far as him being doing something that's never been done before, that's a lie.
Hold on.
Back to Kevin about him doing something that's never been done before. So before what you put in the comments, you didn't clarify that in your messages. So I'm going to go with what you said in the messages, sir. In the messages, you didn't say anything about him, about his arm talent and nothing like that. You didn't mention that in any of the voice memos, and anyone that saw it can verify that with me. I had time today, so I listened to every voice memo that during that session. He didn't mention any of this. He didn't mention any of that. So what you're doing right now is capping because you didn't say that.
Okay, man. Hey, Kev, I don't know if you know, but anybody's open to come on
Yeah,
for
you can come on the show.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
you can come on the show, but this is not what you said in the chat.
all right, go ahead.
Now, and like I said before, this is not me discrediting anything he did. He has had a really great season this year. 30, like I said, 3,700 passing yards, 22 touchdowns, 6 picks. That is great. And what he did within the year is that is great. That is good. Now, if that was your argument, we can see where that means something. Where you said that, okay, he didn't play good last year, and this hasn't been done before within a year span of someone playing that. He pretty much got into the Super Bowl. Okay, I get you on that one. That's good, but that's not what you said in the chat. I'm just going off of what you said in the chat. Now, you were talking about him. You were talking about someone running for 1,000 yards and throwing over 3,000 yards. You're making it seem like that's never happened before. Lamar Jackson's MVP season, he threw for 3,000 yards and ran for 1,000. So that's cap. It's happened before. And if I remember correctly, Vic was the first one to run for 1,000 yards in the season. Now, I don't remember if he threw for 3,000 yards, but Vic was also a dynamic runner and passer. So what Jalen Hurts is doing is not something we've never seen before, as far as that.
Well, sorry, jump in. Michael Vick, when he was a runner, he's more of a runner as a Falcon, and he don't have no 3,000-yard seasons as a Falcon. So he threw his first 3,000-yard season as an Eagle. He had games when he went off. Like, I think he ran over 100 yards once as an Eagle, and probably like 80 here and there. But he barely threw over 3,000 yards. I don't think he ever threw for 3,500. I think what Hurts did this year was more than Michael Vick ever done. But we are in a more pass-heavy league, though. So, and Michael Vick, he did have Deshaun Jackson though, and Macklin, and McCoy. So he
had a good team around him, and just like Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts has a good team around him. He has AJ Brown, Devontae Smith, Dallas Goedert, and Miles Sanders. Those are 4 really good players.
Don't forget Boston Scott, and don't forget Gainwell.
Gainwell is the MVP according to Kevin, right? You're going MVP.
Then you gotta bring up the Kelsey.
They have players around them. They have players around them, but that's not, like I said, that's not me taking.
Don't forget Hakuna Matata. I'm just saying, this is how the Eagles fans gonna tell you about it. They just get the naming people, but they ain't got nobody on their team though. Go ahead.
But like I said, this is not me discrediting anything that he's done. It's not me saying that Jalen Hurts is trash. It's not saying that he don't deserve to be where he is. Just as far as what you said in the chat, it's not true that he's doing something that's never been done before. That's all I gotta say about that.
Man, when he said that, he's like never seen before. I was like, are we blind? Am I blind? I know SZA got that song, I Can't See, I'm Blind. But what you mean never seen before? There was a whole Michael Vick experience. Like, you want to bring up numbers? See, that's the thing about the Refuse to Lose chat, fellas. Like, I'm going to pull people back behind the curtain a little bit. Everyone brings up stats every now and then. Then you have some people that say stats. What was Mark's favorite line? I don't want to botch it, but there you go. I don't want to kill his quote. There you go. Stats kill opinions. So once you start like feeling like you're getting backed into a corner, then you start throwing out numbers like, yo, now you threw for 37,000 yards. I mean, 3,700,000 yards, whatever, 37,000 yards. I ain't eat today, so I'm rambling a little bit. But at the end of the day, though, that Michael Vick experience was something that, honestly, I would say we've never seen before. Like, we've seen running quarterbacks, but that was a whole experience. Like, it went from him rushing the ball to video games to shoes to commercials. Like, Kev, I see where you was going, but you kind of was walking the plank. But my beef's not with Kev. It's with AJ. Sir, are you trying to tell us, because, everyone, not the AJ that was from Memphis, talking about AJ. There's 2 Eagle fans named AJ, you know what I'm saying? So we got to call him AJ 2K, and then we just got to talk about AJ from Philly. He made some shorts, right? And that's kind of what got me to thinking about this whole conversation, because he made a couple shorts, and one of the shorts was saying that Mahomes don't be shocked if Jalen Hurts outperforms Mahomes. Like, I don't want to botch his quote, but I'm saying I'm paraphrasing.
Basically,
And then as I kept listening to the things that he was saying about the game on Sunday, I was like, are you trying to say that Hurts is better than Mahomes, or are you just trying to say he's going to be better than better than Mahomes on this Sunday? Then I was like, you know what? I'll give it some time. Maybe we'll have this conversation one day on air. And then Dave brought up the conversation. He asked the question in the chat. Are y'all trying to say that Jalen Hurts is elite after 1 year. And I didn't listen to all the voice memos. I will say that. But the consensus from what I'm getting here is that everyone was trying to say yes. Not everyone. A couple of the Eagles fans were trying to say yes because of what he did. Now, we're trying to give you all the leeway of saying that you're having what I will say is a spectacular season. This is like a Disney movie type thing. This is like Remember the Titans when they couldn't lose one game and they made it all the way to the big game. And then boom, they won it. However, I want to take some time to just like give them their credit a little bit. I mean, I don't think Jalen Hurts is elite. If he does it again next year, boom. Because I
Mhm.
remember me and Joe, you know, I give Joe his flowers all the time because of what he said. He came on here one show. It was literally the same week, everyone. He came on one show and said Jalen Hurts is the best quarterback in the NFC East. Came back next day and said, you know what? I got to relax. I'm going to wait till next season. But as of now, it's looking like he's headed in that trajectory. And I couldn't even
Mhm.
argue with that. Worm comes on here almost every chance he gets and kills Rain Dakota Prescott. You know what I mean? And he even says that he's like Jalen Hurts is having one heck of a year. Like you can't fault the guy for what he's done.
Mhm.
His defense has shown up when it's time, but also one thing I want, Mark, you gotta come on here because I'm gonna steal your point. I'm gonna let you know I'm stealing your point. That offense, man, it is a system. It is a system because if you look at the last two games, the two games that he wasn't out, technically, if you look at this, the one game, the Dallas game in general, right? Gardner Minshew put up the same amount of numbers and points in that game that Jalen Hurts would have put up because of that defense being opportunistic. Most of the time, we said it all the way up until that Commanders game with the Eagles, is that they're opportunistic. If the other team turns the ball over and they don't turn the ball over, what's the end result? Eagles win by 2 or 3 touchdowns, or maybe a field goal. The only game that was really close was no, I think the Eagles turned the ball over in that Colts game. I think they did. That was a close
Mhm.
one.
And Colgate, they did
Yep. But other than that,
fumble. AJ Brown.
hey, don't bring him up. That's a whole nother debate. I'm ready for that debate in the all season. No Eagle fan said he was elite. I mean, it's y'all alluding to it though. You're alluding to it. That's the issue here. That's kind
AJ
of
said
like
it. AJ said it in the voice memos, Kev.
Yeah, I
oh,
no, I think when Dave asked the question, everybody said no,
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
but AJ wasn't on that time.
Okay, cool. So at the end of the day, the offense looks like it's a system. However, the one thing we cannot take away from Jalen Hurts this season is he's not turning the ball over. If your offense is not turning the ball over, you're scoring points, and your defense is taking the ball from the other team. That's like the perfect situation for any coach to be in, any player to be in. Like if that's why Sirianni walking around here like he's the big guy on campus because he just like, look, man, I don't got to do anything, and that's why he's getting a little bit of hate and salt from the other teams. Like, what's my man? What's his name? Something Love with the Giants, the safety, where he was like, Sirianni ain't really got a coach. The team just doing it itself, which I kind of thought it was a slight because at the end of the day, coaches do got to throw a flag every now and then. Which I wish Shanahan would have threw that flag on that catch that wasn't a catch. Then we
You're not
probably
the
would have.
only one.
Then we probably would have had a different game. But at the end of the day, no, he's not elite this year. If he rinses and repeats and does it again next year, there's no debate. There's nothing to be said about it. However, Sunday, he will be able to add a little bit to his resume because at the end of the day, sports is essentially that. What have you done for me lately? Like we talk about the Jordan and LeBron debate, and we had this debate go on for years. But at the end of the day, Jordan could never play again, and LeBron is going to keep adding to his resume. However, the facts are the facts, the stats are the stats. And if Jordan could come back and probably score a couple more buckets, then maybe we'll have something to talk about. And right now, Hurts is adding to that. I would say he definitely worked his way into the top 10 of quarterbacks this year. He's definitely proven everyone wrong that said he couldn't throw the ball or this offense wouldn't work around him. And a couple folks that said they needed to trade him. Or not all the negative stuff that people said about him going into this season, he's proven them wrong on that one. He's been throwing the ball. He hasn't been turning it over. The team's been winning. They lost the two games that he wasn't there. So you got to say it is him a little bit as far as leadership. When it was time, no matter if you say the schedule was easy, the road was easy, they won the games they were supposed to win.
um, Yeah.
And I
So
you got to calm down when you say stuff like that. You can't say he's just a winner, because if that's the case, then everybody go back to last year and be like, well, why weren't they just winning if it's him?
yeah, that's
Like, he
true. He got
adds to it.
see. All right. So basically, y'all said it all. I'm not gonna say a lot about that. And but he's not elite right now. He's on the trajectory to become elite. He's having a great season. Uh, I mean, he's not doing anything we haven't seen before because he's not even elusive like the other runners. And
Mm.
he's his. I mean, it's not like he has a way better arm than Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson never had a player like AJ Brown or Devontae
Devontae
Smith.
Smith.
So yes, but Jalen Hurts is he's showing signs that he will be great. All right. So if he come back and do this next year, and also another reason why I didn't say he's elite, because not only is 1 year, everything is perfect for the dude. I mean, the man got the best offensive line, top 2 defense, best rushing attack, 2 number 1 receivers, one of the best top 5 tight end according to Cav, top 3 or top 4 according to Cav. All right. So I
You can
mean,
say top 5. I can agree
top
with
5,
that. Top 5.
top 5 tight end. So everything is great around him. So, but hey, same team comes back. They got, and they run the table again next year, then yeah, you can put them in the elite category. Thank you for staying to the end. If you're watching this on YouTube, please like this video, subscribe, and also hit that notification button so you can be notified next time we put out a video. If you're listening on any podcast platform, subscribe and hit that notification button, y'all, so you can be notified we put out another podcast audio. And last but not least, hit that share button. No matter what you're listening to or watching it, hit that share button and send it to somebody that you know that would love to watch this episode you just listened to. So once again, thank you for staying to the end, and we'll see y'all in the next episode.